My raised beds are almost ready, but before I finish them and continue with the garden, I will explain to you what I did and why I chose to work this way. In this area there is an invasive plant that I cannot show you right now because it blooms in the summer, but now in the spring it looks like this. It has a very deep root system, and after it leaves stems that look like this. They are pretty thick. As you can see, they're as thick as my finger, small finger at least. And after you clean the land, they look like these very big piles of dead flower stems, which I decided not to burn because I didn't want to to kill the microbiome of the earth and to let the earth scorched. So I used them for the raised beds. Some time ago, my land, after it looked like this, with a lot of grass that had a very thick root system. So I plowed and I tilled the land, which had some mixed results. But on top of this tilled earth, I constructed these raised beds made out of those flower stems, and between the raised beds I dug some trenches, and the earth from the trench I put it up on top of the raised bed. Then on top of the raised bed I brought from my horse some manure that in these instances I discovered I can use it later, so I put it on top of the hay. But in here I put it on top of the land. Then I planted whatever I decided. In there are some paprika, I don't know how it's called in English at this point, and some radishes and carrots and onion and potatoes and garlic. And after I planted, I put a lot of hay on top. Before I planted, I seeded all this raised beds. I watered everything very thoroughly. Then I added the hay, and then I watered again so the hay doesn't blow away and get some moisture. But luckily, as you can see, I was very lucky and I didn't have to do that watering for all the raised beds, only for, I don't know, 2 or 3 out of 8, but all the others were naturally rained and watered by the sky. So yes, how I decided to make them like this, I hope it will not be a bad idea, because as you can see, I made them perpendicular to the inclination of the land, but on the other side the sun wakes up in this area, goes like this and go to sleep in that area. So in theory my raised beds have a side that is in full sunshine, this one, and the top also is in full sunshine, but this side it's northern, so I hope it's not that big of a deal. But my main reason for doing the trenches perpendicular to the inclination of the land, it was if it rains, the water will be accumulated in these trenches and will water from underneath these raised beds without washing the land and taking all the nutrients out of it. That will be most what I've done. Oh, and I think this will be the end of the raised beds. I have to make in here the last half small raised bed like I did in here, and from now till that end I'll most likely cover everything in hay, and whatever I will be able to cut this summer, and probably I will also plant some clover that will fix some nitrogen. But also in this area I will make some I will plant some potatoes and some beans, only by covering the land with hay, that I have it like this in damaged bales of hay, not straw. But I will just put the potatoes on the land, and afterwards I will cover them with hay. And the same thing I will do with beans. I will plant a lot of types of beans. I have something like 15 types of beans, and then with the clover I hope they will fix nitrogen in the land, so in the earth, so I'll have a healthier land, terrain, whatever. Look, the tree is blooming. For sure, the summer is here. Spring is here.